Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
Hello and welcome to the show. I am your humble host, Michael TiVoMike Jefferson, follower of the Lord Jesus Christ and lover of all things SVU, here in Steiner Studio with my best friend, the show's entertainment guru, E.G. Mike84 on Twitter from Woonsocket, Rhode Island, which is a state in the country of the United States of America, known as Trump America, and also known as Biden America. We are so diverse. We have President Trump and President Biden try to come at us. You try to peg hole us on any single issue, bless God. We voted for Obama and Bush. You don't know which way we gonna go. Mike Warner.
Oh, I love it, guys. Oh, fantastic.
Was that good?
That was real good.
Because you don't know where we're going to be.
We're going to be there. We're going to be
4 years. What's going to happen 2024? We might not even have a president. We may just be like, yo, we going to vote for like American Idol. Like, what? The TV show is now the president. You don't know what we're going to do.
Imagine that.
We might turn around and make a dog a president.
Just not a German Shepherd.
We might vote for Kim Jong-un.
I hate you.
He could be a straight up dual citizen as long as he gets his vaccine. Follow the, science. And who knows? We don't know. That's what makes us exciting. Let's get started. We're going to talk about the season 23, episode 7 date already disappeared. It's our righteous recap of SVU.
I get what you were talking about now when you say it all lines up. I was like,
right.
You can't talk. No, it's all. See, I got you.
It's all the same. Right. It has a theme, baby. When a teenage sex worker disappears, Rollins and Velasco find a key clue in a pile of neglected missing persons reports.
I'm going to say this right now. NBC, fire whoever writes your synopsises.
Thank you.
Because that is the most vague, half-assed synopsis
of everything.
Just like of all the shows to be half-assed on.
Thank you.
You chose SVU.
Or have the person who writes these things do movie trailers.
Right. Oh.
Wouldn't that be one? Yeah, you don't say it's nothing. I want them to be like, "Oh, the Eternals."
That's what we
and
got.
You don't see nothing.
Right.
You don't see a fireball, a laser beam. You just see words, "the" and "Eternal." It's like, what in the world? What's going to happen?
Even when we were reading earlier, I'm like, that's
nothing.
That's the synopsis we gave this show. Like, this episode was phenomenal
on every level. I got Criminal Minds vibes. I got Bones vibe.
And Liv wasn't out of the office vibe.
Thank you. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That was the best.
Laughed out loud.
I couldn't even. What I will say, there was only one downfall to the show for me.
Hashtag cut his mic. I don't know who I'm talking to, but cut his mic.
Because here's what they did wrong for me. They found the lair where the vampire was.
Right.
And we didn't.
By happenstance because of the little black hero.
But what I didn't like was we didn't do any stakeout to watch the dude's pattern or behavior, which I get, they're trying to keep it fresh and edgy,
and they lost some money.
Do a certain way of doing things. So I'm like, hold up.
That's called subverting your expectations.
Yeah. Oh, and they did. They subverted. But I like how I
liked learning something.
Right.
Remember when they go in the building and the guy said it smells like cinnamon?
Thank you.
What doesn't rot? And what's his name? Tyler Perry. What's his name? In there, he goes, "Oh, thanks for telling us." I was like, "See, word, we're learning something." That's his name, right? Tyler Perry.
No.
Lil Tyler.
Oh,
that could be his name, Lil Tyler. That hard him up some. Be a rapper.
No,
he's like that'll be his next new thing.
No.
My new studio.
But right now he's building an airport, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, there you go.
But what I will say
that's his driving parkway.
Yeah,
his what's it called? Driveway.
Driveway. What I liked about it was I liked that we had nothing. I even liked. I was so mad at it. I was really mad that you guys couldn't wait to make Country the bad guy. His name was Country, guys.
Jumped right to him.
Yeah,
the most innocent
of all the people.
All them. Who didn't give you any hint of any kind
And he was giving you all the stuff you needed, like her backpack that
she left. Because that's what you do when you're a mastermind getting away with stuff for 10 years.
Right.
And you know what's really weird? He owns a restaurant and he has knives.
Yeah.
Well, lock him up. I'm glad they didn't go to Olive Garden. That poor guy would have been like, I'm just serving soup.
Right. So I love how they painted it. I like it. What I liked is it showed Liv not doubting herself, but trying to fit the narrative of we need to close these cases faster.
Yeah.
Because McGrath is coming down on her
getting to
so hard.
Yeah.
So I love that because it didn't defeat her.
Right.
It was all logical happenstance.
She was just like skipping steps in that way in the mind of getting to this because of the pressure.
Right, and that's what I liked. I liked that it did that. Cause
yes.
I liked that she didn't leave. I think she only left the office once.
Right,
and it was with Talking to Country,
and left again to do the news conference.
And that was so good. I loved how they
Brilliant.
They roped that in because my thing is I told you guys she needs to be in the office. That's the chief. That's the captain's position. Come out here and there, but you stay here. So,
right.
That's
because you're supposed to be removed from it. That's why, what's his face, her boss?
McGrath.
That's why when McGrath went to the site. So one of the phenomenal scenes is in the site when you see the mummification is what he was doing. And he did a well job. When he was explaining what happens, he goes, oh, we pulled the brain from the back to protect the face. He goes, oh, thank you very much. I got enough. And he left because you're not on the street. You're not getting that anymore.
You're not in it. Right.
And when after the conference was over, and he walks away, and Liv was talking to him, and he says, I just need you to find him. This guy is evil. And he couldn't even say what he did.
Right.
That's when I felt for him, because it was like, I think in his mind, it was such a good respect for the team to go, y'all have to deal that. Like, you're my front line.
Right.
You're just seeing evil. Because right away, right after that scene, the Velasco and has a conversation with her. And he says, well, you've been in this for 20 years, and I just couldn't take it. And she goes, let me tell you something. I've been in this for 20 years. I'm not used to it.
She says, I've never seen anything like this.
And you never used to any of it.
Right.
And that gave me chills for the show, because I thought it's so good to think that in 20 years of watching the show, they never have to ratchet up a rape.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and even in this scene when they actually, I think it's the first time they did it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's maybe the only time when the woman at the beginning, the story part of it that sets everything up, she's on the phone, and then you get to actually see, he says, no one cares about you, it doesn't matter, and pulls her away, where we already filled in rape and murder, and it was like, oh, well, it was off camera, so it doesn't really count. I'm so used to it. Like, wait for the rape to happen.
I think you were more,
like, you still care.
You were more invested because of his. No one's gonna look for you. No, it doesn't. You scream all you want. No one cares.
No one cares.
And then he just pulled her away. I was like, oh damn! Like, y'all. First off, I thought last season y'all did some stuff when y'all had this whole girl being raped by the guy grooming her to be famous.
Thank you.
So when y'all did it earlier with the TikTok girl, I'm like, ooh, y'all. And then y'all did this one. And you know what I love? In 23 years, I've never seen the same case twice.
Ever.
This case, when I tell you, and here's why I love the captain being in the office. She wasn't out there for all the trudging stuff with his mom.
Good.
Who called her son a loser from the jump. She had no remorse.
What?
He ain't got no friends.
This little idiot over
He
here.
don't do nothing.
What did he do? He tripped and fell?
Right. The concluding scene at the end when Liv was talking to him, I love how she baited him. And I like how she said, well, help me understand. And she goes, well, he has to be smart. Well, you're not smart. Your mom already told us you're dumb. And I love that it was all to prove to his mom.
Right, that I'm somebody.
And I'm going to say something really mean, so you guys can send the hate at EGMike84 on Twitter, or leave it in the comments. But isn't it odd that the mummies kind of look like the mom?
Did they?
If you just look at like her face.
I didn't look that closely.
I laughed.
I was
so
like
hard
McGrath and Velasco combined.
When the mom came downstairs, and then the first couple ones they showed the face up, I was like, oh, he hates his mom.
Wow.
Because that's all I kept thinking was who did this to him, or who made him feel
Nobody.
this way.
Sometimes
that
he's
he
just
had
crazy. She said he came out weird.
She
and there was no return policy. There's no return policy. She was like, even Angelina said, I draw the line
I hate you so much.
at taking that. I know I got 94 kids.
But we're not doing
But
it.
how much money do I got?
Right.
I can handle 95.
What I would say is, I like Ice-T's role in this
It was so perfect.
because it was just
When the guy said, it smells like cinnamon because of the thing, it doesn't rot. And he just goes, thank you.
that's what I like. It was just like really
Because he's us. He's the viewer.
right.
He's how we would do
What
it.
I will say is, I'm a little mad at Joe and Finn, or Velasco and Finn,
Right.
because of this. Liv went on national TV. Or on the news, or whatever, for New York. Whatever she was on, whatever stations they hit. And said, we're going to give $3,500 reward
Right.
for any information. And Lamar, I think is the little boy's name,
Right.
said what he said to them, which then led to the truck being found.
Yeah, so he got money.
I wanted to see them give him his money.
Oh.
Because you know how they placate the kids. Oh, well, it didn't come in on our tip line, so we don't
That's
know.
hilarious.
Kind of like, how y'all didn't take? Well, go see her because she just said we're going to get $3,500 for any. Because and can
I'm
we talk
sure he
about,
got his 3,500.
Can we talk about that whole scene with the truck and trying to find the truck? And the autistic kid.
Yes.
It
was brilliant.
You know why? Because it spoke to, remember the episode with the girl who could only hear the right pitch?
Yeah.
So that episode when the guy hurt the dad. And
It was so freaky.
It brought me back to that because he said, don't worry, he's not listening. Just talk to me about my daughter. I knew we were going to find out this news. And then he goes, oh, the truck, license plate, yada, 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 IJ. Da, da. And she goes, honey, you never told me that. And he's like, well, Mommy told me not to. She didn't want you to worry.
Exactly. I was like, wow.
From
and I like that
2007
this was the
to
well,
now.
that was the prequel to the Eternals. I like how vast.
Did you watch Eternals?
No,
Okay.
I just love how vast. I'm not watching that crap, but I like how vast the Marvel universe is. To me, Endgame ended it. I'm happy. If I watch any more, they're gonna mess it up. I really feel that way.
I'm sorry. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
I can't.
Well, I'm not really a fan of the Eternals because I don't understand them. But I can't wait for like the part 2,
You
the
need
Black
someone's
Panther.
in.
I can't wait for the
Yeah.
Galaxy, the Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Well, I can't watch Black Panther for
I
the
can't
same
wait for
reason I
Thor.
can't watch Michael Jackson's This Is It.
Oh, okay.
He's gone, and he was Black Panther, and
See, I will
I
say
can't watch it.
I would
'Cause
say
now, what
I
are you going to do?
almost-
Are they going to show him this? The character goes away on a journey, and
Well, I don't think they're gonna do that. Only
know.
because Angela Bassett said that whatever they did. Because I love that she's old school. She's vague. She said whatever. She goes. All I'm gonna tell you guys is when you watch this, you're gonna love what they did for Chadwick,
right.
as well as what they do for Black. I personally think we should recast T'Challa, and his story needs to go on because it's
Yeah.
T'Challa and Black Panther had so many different stories.
That's what I'm saying. They
But-
have so much to go, but now are they going to do that? Like,
I don't know.
Like, I mean, they wouldn't even do that for Heath's Joker,
Well, that's
and
because
this was more prominent.
No.
So what are they really going
It
to?
wasn't more prominent. Here's
You
the
don't think he
problem.
was more prominent
No,
than
because
Heath?
we actually all loved that Batman storytelling.
Right.
So there's no Joker who can do that.
Right.
Whereas, not saying there's other actors who could do exactly like Chadwick, but there's other people who could play the role to a caliber that will sustain.
I hope that's Jaden's next move. That would be really good because that would give him a chance to.
So dope.
Yeah.
I don't even. I hate to say it because
But I do think the sister is going to be the hero.
Well, she's
because
gonna be-
She's already on Instagram. They said on Hollywood Reporter that she's recuperating from an
injury on set.
That's going to wait until 2022. Now,
Well-
I don't know what injury you get when you're showing. That's called sneakers.
Well-
Like maybe she laughed so
Well, no,
hard,
she is picking
her
up-
lungs fell.
Well, she is picking up a bigger mantle, but something happened. I think she broke her foot.
Yeah, no, she picked up an actual mantle.
In one of the scenes.
That's not something you're supposed to do unless you're T'Challa now.
Yeah.
So
But we'll
I think
see what they do.
she identifies as T'Challa.
Yeah.
But but I just love. Sorry, I had to because it was getting too heavy in this episode.
Yes. Well, and that's the
Did
thing.
you cry? I cried in this episode twice.
I didn't cry. What hurt me
Cut
in
his
this
mic.
episode was
Cut his mic. Why is he still talking? I can still hear him in his mic.
Liv learned. Because I like the
Yes, she
scene with
did.
the coroner, and he said, or the medical examiner. He
Let's talk about that scene. So
Oh.
he brings
He said-
in the body
and he goes,
that they don't need. What's that called? Verification.
they need to identify.
Yeah, they don't need to because they already had the dental records.
Right.
So and
Oh, not the
normally-
body. They brought in the sister.
No, the body. They brought the body in.
Yeah, but Oh,
yes, I'm setting it up because they never with these scenes. They always have the body, and then they need someone to identify. And in SVU, they haven't done that in like years. That's something from like Grey's Anatomy or something dumb like that. So all of a sudden, like, we're getting a scene. Whenever scenes are longer, I now know there's something when they're showing us more of a process.
They're about to give us something,
like,
right?
Like it's gonna be important, so I have to like stop eating food or
you have to pay attention. Yeah.
I get close to the TV. And at first, I thought, they're gonna make the coroner like he's some twisted freak.
No,
and he's the one
he's
who
a
did
little
it.
creepy.
Yeah, I said, they're going with the creep factor.
But we did that already.
Yeah,
so they can't do that again.
They can't do it again. They don't repeat their storylines.
Right.
You hear that, Grace? So what they did was they had the girl on the slate and when covered up, and then he said before the sister walks in, and he says to her, "We don't need you to identify. It's already been done. So, you can leave now, whatever kind of thing." She then, of course, says, "Well, no, I have to see it. Right. I need to see it. I need to see her." And he goes, "Okay. So did you bring that picture of you and her like I asked?"
Right.
I'm thinking, who brings a photo?
And I loved what that was, because to me...
Well, don't explain it yet. I want to set it up first. I'm replaying it, and then we'll explain. Yeah, I just want to play it out. So this is how powerful it was. Because I know sometimes y'all be listening to us, and you haven't even seen the scene. So you need to go watch this. So if you didn't see it, I'm giving you the scene.
That's right.
So he tells her, "Did you bring it?" Like he gives orders.
Right. Like I told you. Right.
Did you bring the photo of you and the? Or he was thinking that she was killed or something, and she goes, "Did you bring the photo?" Yeah.
I even like that she took it out. Even took it out of the back. She was looking at even
why?
She didn't know.
Yeah, like, why am I doing this?
Yes.
Like I know it was in the script.
Yes. I was like.
But I was just happy to be in a scene to meet Mariska,
right,
and do selfies with her. I didn't realize.
Because everyone does now.
Yeah, this is great. You're Mariska. Where's Stabler? She goes, "I get that all the time. He's on set 4." And so you're pulling it out, and you don't know where it's going either. Watching the episode,
right? Because he's never
creepy.
done this before.
Remember, they made him creepy.
Weird. Yeah, and he was weird.
And Liv, I was like, Liv's going to pick up that he's the killer. I was like, this is going to be good. And the other guy who killed him was the brother or something like that, and they worked in conjunction or something. Because I get paranoid now with these episodes. So all of a sudden, waiting for him to try to kill Liv, and then she fights back, and then she's in trouble. So all of a sudden, he says, "Now put it over there," like he's ordering around.
Yeah, right.
And put it down, like, my gosh. And then they're showing the scene of the zoom in on the photo.
And they go into her putting it down.
Yeah, like very awkwardly, what's going on. Then he says, "Now, you ready? Okay, now I'm going to pull the sheet up." Pulls the sheet up. She looks. She's horrified, as you would be. Was fine. I was so far good. Then he goes, now look over there. And he goes, "Now that's really your sister."
Yes.
That's really your sister. He puts the thing back up. She says, "Okay, gotta go." And then they try to stop her. So she goes, "No, it's okay. I gotta leave." And then Liv says to him, "I've never seen someone do that with a photo." And then he says, "Well, the mind has trauma, and there's no, and your mind just recalls the most recent thing. So there's no reason to hold on to memory of a cold, calculated, destructive thought or scene or photo. So you replace it with what the person is, and you have a pleasant memory."
Right.
And then she holds back tears. She can't even say thank you, and she just touches him barely,
and,
and then walks away. So now let's break this down.
So that scene gave me the one tear.
So you did? Okay, good.
Because
bring his mic back up.
I got it, right? So for me, my aunt passed away many, many years ago. And at the funeral, it was so bad because the family was so divided. Everybody was acting stupid because my grandfather and my grandmother had since remarried. So whatever reason, my grandmother didn't want him there because he didn't want to help pay. I don't know but there was drama for no reason at the funeral. And I still hadn't accepted that my aunt passed away. One, because I'd had the phone call. So I had a premonition of the phone call before the phone call. And then I got the phone call, and it still wasn't real. Then I flew to Florida, and it still wasn't real. And then we're there, and they're fighting outside the funeral home, so it still can't be real.
Right.
And then when they pulled, when it was open casket, and it wasn't my aunt because she looked different, and I was very upset. I was probably depressed for like a good month and a half or 2 months because I couldn't find a picture of my aunt that wasn't that. So for a while it took me almost 2 months to find a new picture, like to find a picture to remember like who my aunt was. Like I knew who she was, but to to
see it.
So that scene, I felt what Benson felt when she teared up, and because for Benson, she's lost so many people, a brother.
And she always sees people at their worst too. The death,
right? So it was just like, first off, you used the weirdest messenger to deliver this, because that guy was such a creep.
Oh, yes.
He was just not the one to teach me about this.
But when he did the scene,
why it worked.
Yeah, it felt the creepiness finally left, and I go, oh, the reason we had what's her face,
Warner,
and I love Warner. This is not a kick to you.
I mean, we have the same last name.
How do I forget that? I love Warner, and she has humor.
Right. She's got the right amount.
But it's a job.
Right.
It's like the way I transact with files, the way you transact with the customers. It's a business.
Right.
You know, you're doing your job, you're clocking in, you clock out, boom shakala, right?
Right.
You do it quickly if you have a colleague that wants to leave early.
Right.
But he never got that memo.
Right. Well, I think
he's taking it. He sees people,
right? And I think
we're not used to seeing that with coroners,
right? And I think what that did for him, or what that did for me, for the role of an ME, is it shows you the ones like Tamara Tooney's character Warner, who's been doing this for so many years, that not that they're numb to it, but it's become transactional.
Right? It's just a business. It's
and
doing my work.
The new guy, or this particular guy, where it's like, yes, it's my job, but I'm here for people.
Right. And not only am I here for people, but these are people.
Right.
And I'm recognizing this is not them. They were taken. They were killed.
Right.
They died. This is evidence of how they died.
Right.
But this is not them.
Right. And
because he consistently kept almost like a PCP, your primary care physician. He has more of that vibe, and that came off as creepy before this context,
right? Yes.
So when he said because I had to rewatch the scene because I couldn't play it all the way through because it caught me off guard. First of all, because I thought they were going to reveal him as the killer, and instead they revealed him as Mr. Feeney. And when he says, "Now look there," I still didn't catch it because I was so like, "He's a creepy guy. Why are you making?" And then when he said it to Liv, I immediately started to cry. So I saw the rest of the scene, but I didn't see the rest of the scene.
Right, you couldn't comprehend
I was like, wow, because that isn't them. And the way the verb, I forgot how the exact wording, but it was basically, well, the mind remembers this, and why remember the cold, harsh thing when you can remember the real person or something like that.
Right.
So I was gone. I didn't even catch it I was learning it for me. I wasn't learning it for
right
Liv or for the character or for the show. And then it together with the final scene when Liv is looking at all the dead bodies next to all their pictures that they have to try to match them up or whatever, and she just turns off
the monitors
and then looks to the people. That's when I was like, then I cried again because even when. Because, again, I was crying through the scene, so I didn't really catch on when she went to go touch him. But when she said, did she call him doctor? Like, doc?
Yeah.
And she went to say something else, but nothing else came
she
out.
Yeah. Oh.
And she just barely kind of touched and then kind of like
and then
did
she
a
gave
nod.
Like the thank you, the sign language thing, because she just couldn't
say it. Because she would have lost it.
Yeah, she was.
And then you realize, even though earlier all these scenes came together when she was talking to Velasco, and she says, you never get
used to it.
Right. And she has all this trauma like she sees them.
It's like the flashback of all the different,
and that's all she ever sees. And so now what he taught the sister, she learned.
Right.
And she goes, I can learn this going forward. Right away she's like, instead of looking at this, she was looking there. And it was just such a powerful episode.
And it's funny,
go down
because when she first turned
episodes.
it off, I was like, why would she? I thought she turned it off because she said the grandmother was here. Because Finn said the grandmother's here. And I'm like, well, you don't want her to see that. But then when she looked at the other ones where they were alive, I'm like, oh, she's trying to flash.
And no, that's what it is. And especially for her, because she and the coroner have the same heart, because every episode, it's not like it, as a fan, you're like, again. But for 23 years, she's always a 10.
Right.
Like and obviously this does not happen. I am being facetious, but
Right.
to make my point, like someone comes in and they had a paper cut. She's a 10. Hey, all paper cuts matter.
Right.
You get where's the Band-Aid? And you deserve love and affection, and here's a puppy. To, you were raped in front of your child. I'm a 10. I'm the same 10.
Right. It's you're going to get the same
Always.
consistent Benson.
All the time.
No matter what the crime, whatever what the
they like
victimization
her,
is. Right.
whether they're mad at her.
Right. Yeah.
She's just who she is. And here, her not changed, but what's that called when you, self-soothing?
Yes.
That's what it is. She has learned a coping mechanism.
Right.
She has learned after 23, well, really plus, because the show didn't pick up when she first started. The show, I'm sure, picked up when she was already a detective for a while.
Right.
So 23 plus years, she hasn't had this coping mechanism.
Right. Yeah. And now
Now she has it. And now she's a mom. So she can cope, be at home, be even a better mom, perhaps, be or whatever. Like, she's done that through a coroner.
Right. Who we probably won't see again.
No, he better be regular. I want him and Warner all the time.
I hope they do, but you know how they do that. They give us this one guy who teaches us great lessons.
He looks like he's a nobody actor. He'll do it for less than Finn. He won't cause waves. He ain't looking to get a raise. Please keep him. I'm going to find out that character's name and hashtag keep him. And just have him juxtapose. Keep having Warner, because you need the Warner.
Right.
Who's always, and you think about it, all the times when there's been like violent things and she needed to find out quick because they're bugging her when she has 90 other bodies to go through, and Stabler would be like, did you figure it out? She would give him there's 95 other people here, and not when you gave me this body 4 seconds ago.
Right.
I got to push them into the machine. Calm down.
So Finn still didn't take me out for dinner, and now he's engaged.
And now get some other lady that used to be here. Now that don't make no sense. Whatever, Finn, I got your number.
Right.
And Finn's like, all right, well, I'll go to you later. But she was always like, yeah, this pelvis is destroyed. And
Right.
they yanked the axe through the eye and took it down through the pelvis, and it's still there. I got to, weld this out or whatever. Her name is Julia.
Yeah.
Juxtaposed to literally mummies.
Right.
Oh. And he's like, all right, so, and no, this is not your sister. That is your sister. I was gone.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was so good.
I was gone.
And I loved it. It was weird because this guy, first off, played it off so good that he had no idea what they were talking about. Like, he was so into it. And then
He really was smart.
he let the ego
That's where she got
get him, because that's when he was like, well, it had to be someone smart and calculated and neat. And you're none of those things.
And he was like, oh, do you think he is smart?
Right. And that's when he identified, 'cause
validation.
now it was like his mom calls him stupid all the time.
So without the validation, he didn't give in. He didn't give in, because even when they were at the stoop, I thought, oh, he's gonna run or something.
Right.
No,
No.
he's like, what
What do you want? Mom, I got it. Shut up.
She's like, no, you don't got nothing. I'm gonna go get a cab.
Yeah. I love that she didn't even have a car. I'm going to get a cab.
No one has a car in New York.
So I did like that. That was
It was the
hilarious to me.
best.
And I love that he had the same license plate
For
all those
20 years.
Well, because it's real. I've had the
That's
same
who
license
people-
plate.
right. People
since
don't give it
the
up.
car with my name, but you just register every year. So I love that when they
I
finally
loved it.
tracked it back, it led right back to where they already
Still
thought.
license plate.
And it was like, boom. And I
like the revelation, because I like the little twist of when she goes, and he got lucky. He just happens to find the landlord.
It
He
wasn't
goes,
luck.
Happens to
Yeah.
find.
Oh.
He goes, it was very interesting. He didn't see it coming. Didn't see what coming.
Right. And I love how he gave it away, because I like how first he was playing the what if game.
Yeah, like, huh?
And then,
He was like, OJ, I'm looking for the killer.
right.
And did you find him on the golf course when you got a hole in one?
Right.
Yeah, just like when I stabbed him in one.
I love it.
I mean, when I hit the ball on the course.
Yes!
No, I didn't do it.
And then
my
even
colleague,
then,
by the way, thinks that it's really the son that he's covering for. That even takes it deeper.
what son?
OJ. Because the son was a teenager at the time and didn't like his mom being it, and thinks OJ is covering for his son. And I was like, at first, yeah, he's this. So I was like, huh, interesting. But it got me thinking. I said, it's BS, but I like that thought process. Because he still sees him as the football
Good
hero.
thing he's not a lawyer. You know why? Because he would have helped get OJ off sooner.
Yeah, that's Jay.
Yeah. Yes.
See, that's what denial does. That's what denial does,
that's
Mike.
Hot mess, yo. And you
See,
blame
it
the
all
teenager? Like, that's
comes
how far
together.
you went back?
He thinks. And I'm like, well, these teenagers nowadays,
These teenagers
they
nowadays,
probably do.
but not those ones.
Maybe he was watching little CSI before CSI was a thing.
Did you see the dude? He looks torn. He looked like he never got over it.
Ever. And now he's like, that's my... What did he do on Father's Day? I wonder if, like, his friends go, hey, did you,
You know the
Just
best part
anything
about
else.
OJ's son is he
Right.
goes to his friends. You guys always complain your dad wasn't there. I wish mine wasn't
I
there.
wish he wasn't there.
My mom would still be alive.
She wishes he wasn't there. Her date wishes he was. A lot of people wish he wasn't there.
A lot. He should have been playing football.
Marsha wishes he wasn't there. How many lives has this guy destroyed? Goodness. Enough is enough. Find the killer, OJ. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. Find him already. Or her. Or whatever it is. Enough of that mess. Why am I reading this? We're done. Why am I... What is... See what OJ does to me?
Got you all flabbergasted.
And I'm all crying again, thinking about Liv and all her self-soothing. Keep the coroner.
Yes, I
He
want
was
him
great.
in more episodes.
I freaking love that.
He'd be a good... Whenever we don't have Warner, let it be him.
Yeah, exactly. Just have them go. And then we find out they are a couple. I would think that would be adorable. Yeah, make it happen. Listen, if people can wear skirts and they have genitalia that doesn't typically match said skirt wearing processes and our famous son
or
of a famous
cultures.
father or cultures,
Because you can't
then,
get the kilts.
then they can be a couple, a loving couple, and they balance one another. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Ebony
And
ivory live in perfect harmony.
Wow, that was beautiful. The word says, do all things as unto the Lord. And that coroner does his work as unto the Lord. That was a phenomenal thing. Thanks for treating everyone with human dignity because they all deserve it.
Amen.
Keep your remote close. The Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ, even closer. And remember these words from the favorite movie of all time of Mrs. Doubtfire from Fox Studio. Not that Fox. Bye-bye.
The TiVoMike Show is produced by Michael Jefferson. Our soundboard operator is Mike Warner, and our theme music is by Eric Dano. A special thanks to all those who make it so we can be here, and you, our great listeners. That's it for the TiVoMike Show. I'm Mike Warner. See you next week when we guide the lost TV viewing saints to the myriad of banal TV shows amongst the low-hanging fruit to find the next great addictive series.